Hi, how are you? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Samantha Monhe. Um, I'm 29 years old and I attend New Jersey City University.
So, can you tell a bit more? How did you start learning English, and what was this process like for you?
Yes, started learning English primarily once I went into school. So once I hit nursery, so about 3 years old, um, my mother did speak to me in English more often than my dad. So I was able to pick it up a little at home, but use it more in school, with the teachers and with, the classmates that I had. Um, and yeah, I mean, my learning experience with English was pretty well. I mean, now it's my primary language. It's the one I'm more comfortable speaking. Yeah.
And what other languages were you exposed to in your
I
home?
I also speak Spanish. That was the first language that I learned. Um, Growing up, primarily my dad, but both spoke to me in Spanish. Since I was an infant, and I had a lot of family and grandparents who spoke to me only in Spanish. So Spanish was the first language that I picked up. And I do utilize it mostly when speaking to family members. My dad's family, a lot of them are still in El Salvador, which is where he's from. So they primarily speak Spanish.
And what
So
was it like for you as a child being exposed to two languages at a time?
It wasn't bad just because it was kind of routine. Being that um, my dad spoke primarily Spanish. He does speak English, but he does have a bit of a heavy accent, because he came over here when he was already in his 20s. Um, and so he does have an accent. So he primarily speaks Spanish, but my mom, she speaks Spanish, but like to us, she would mostly speak English. So even though it wasn't really brought out until nursery, I did hear both languages in the house before then. So it was something that I was kind of accustomed to.
And how did you know how to switch between English and Spanish? Were there any rules, or just you know how to use them when it was appropriate to use them?
I think it was more appropriate in using Spanish around family, especially family that um, like I said, my dad's family primarily they didn't speak English. But other than that, I mostly spoke English from that point on. Like all my friends, my siblings, I would speak to them in English. So it was easy for me to turn it on and off because I knew who to speak English to and who to speak Spanish to.
And at school, you learned English as a first language or as a foreign language. What was it like, the instruction?
I learned it as I want to say a little bit of both, just because I didn't, but I did know it a bit before nursery. So primarily I spoke Spanish before entering nursery, but it's not that I was unfamiliar with English. But nursery was really where I picked it up a lot more and spoke it a lot more with classmates and stuff.
So it was here in New Jersey, or is it?
Yeah, here in New Jersey.
And what
I
was
was
it like learning English in New Jersey? In America, it's a different experience. It's not
Yeah,
like you are learning it in another country just as a foreign language. It's a totally different experience, I
yeah,
guess.
definitely. So I mean, everything here once I went into school, everything hands on was English. So it wasn't anything that was too difficult. Everybody that taught me, they were all, they spoke English very well, and everything like that. So that helped a lot. And yeah, my classmates, they pretty much all spoke English. I don't really recall that did, so that was very easy.
Yeah, so you went to school with Americans, or what kind of school did you go to?
I went to a public school here in New Jersey, and it was primarily Americans in the classroom.
And what difficulties did you have learning English from
Um,
nursery and then later on at school?
I think the difficulties might have been just confusing certain letters.
Mm,
Like I know for me, like TH makes like a
mm,
noise, but like
mm,
I would confuse that with like an S sometimes. So there's just certain letters that I would get confused with sometimes. And other than that, sometimes it's funny because I mean, even till this day, like sometimes there's certain either vegetables or something like that that I know in Spanish, and
mm,
I'm yeah, I don't know how to say it in English. So, just some words like that, either vice versa, that like I'll be like, I'll ask my dad, how do you say the word
mm.
in Spanish, or vice versa. But other than that, everything has been pretty low with it.
And how did you work on your accent? Would you say you have an American accent or would you say you have an accent of a Spanish speaker?
I know when I would, I don't know. I
Mm,
feel like I have an American accent. I mean,
mm,
I feel like I have no accent here in America, but I know that I have spoken to some people that when I say certain words, they're like, "Oh, you have a little bit of an accent." But
mm,
I don't really think I do, but I think it's just because I've just been so accustomed to speaking here and speaking English that for me, I don't think I have an accent. I know vice versa now, like speaking Spanish, I do feel
mm,
like it just because I don't speak it as much. So when I speak to other people who speak Spanish, like I can hear that I have an
mm.
accent and get stuck sometimes in certain words.
So you think at different points of our lives we can acquire accent or lose accents?
Yes.
And what is it like for you now? Have you experienced any stigma being a non-American, or would you call yourself American, linguistically at least?
Yes, I do. Well, a lot of the times if somebody asks me
Mm,
what am I, say I'm Hispanic.
mm,
Um, but I know, especially nowadays, if you are filling out an application and it asks for race, a lot of the time it doesn't have Hispanic as a race.
mm,
Um, so I have to put white. So I do know that I'm American.
mm.
But like when people ask me, my automatic first response is I'm Hispanic. So
And would you use Spanish a lot these days? Would you call it your second language, or is it just like a foreign language to you now?
it is a second language. I know I do speak Spanish. I work at New Jersey City University. And so we do have a couple students that speak Spanish or they're just more comfortable speaking
Mm-hmm.
Spanish. So a lot of the times when I'm in the office, if I'm talking to them, I'll speak in Spanish. Um, but other than that, like I said, it's primarily family that I would speak Spanish to.
So you still speak Spanish with your family?
I
And
do.
and how do you feel when you switch between English and Spanish? Do you feel like a different person?
I don't. It's so funny because I feel like sometimes I don't even realize when I do a
Mm,
switch, or like when watching, my mom watches a lot of Spanish soap operas, so
mm,
no. But like for me, like it's just so amazing how I could be watching it and I
mm.
completely understand it, even though they're speaking entirely in Spanish and there's no subtitles. But yeah, it's just natural. There's no like problems or anything with it.
So would you say you have a dual down to the American and Spanish one, or would you rather call yourself American or Spanish?
I generally prefer Spanish.
And why is that?
It's just it comes from background. I feel like because we are in America, a lot, and not everybody obviously, but a lot of people that I meet, they are born here in America. So I feel like when I'm asking where are you from, it's really to know your culture, your background. We do have students, I do have friends who were born out of the country, but the majority are born in the country. So when I ask them, what are you? Um, I'm looking for them to tell me more of their culture rather than, no, I'm American. So it's just something I've been used to. So I'm used to just automatically saying I'm Hispanic as opposed to American.
So do you think it's easy to be Hispanic in terms of language in America? What is it like?
Um, I do like I feel like especially nowadays it's a huge advantage to
Mm.
know language. So I think it is definitely um it's being more of a important role, I guess.
Mm.
But I do think there are still obviously its difficulties. And there are a lot of Hispanics in here in America who do still, they suffer either with language barrier or
Mm.
things like that. So there is still a stigma, but I feel like it's not as big as it once was.
So you think that the general attitude to Spanish is positive here in America?
Um, yes and no. Like I
Mm.
feel like it's partial. Like I feel like it's increased a lot. But
Mm.
especially now looking at the news, looking at our new president and
Mm.
everything. I mean, immigrants is different than being Spanish. But I know that but I do feel like it's definitely increasing. I don't
Mm.
know if it's completely positive yet, but I think that definitely being bilingual or knowing more than one language is definitely important in America.
And what advice can you give to people trying to learn other languages, especially living in the country? Is there hope for them if you come from another country, have all this linguistic cultural background, and here you are trying to adapt to another country linguistically and culturally?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely encourage it. I mean, I know it's difficult, um, but I think long term there's definitely benefits to it. So I would just tell them to push on through and to just keep going because, sooner or later they're going to benefit from it.
Yeah, even though you will never feel like you truly belong in the country, you would feel like they are Spanish or just it stays with you.
Yeah, I know even like my dad, he was born and raised in El Salvador. So like, he's lived here in America
Mm.
longer than he lived over there at this point in his life. So he loves all the opportunities he was given and stuff like that. But I know he always says that once he retires, he
Mm.
wants back home. Like he wants to
Mm.
do like a dual living, like go over there for 6 months and come over
Mm.
here. Because he does miss that as well. But he does definitely see all the benefits that he's gotten in coming over here.
Yes, sometimes some sacrifice are necessary to succeed, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much and good luck to you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. It was
Thank
great.
you. Yeah, bye.